Hi. So great. Just checking basic hygiene, so you can see the screen, right? So everyone can see the screen.
Yes, yes.
Great, great. Hi. So good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome the respected principals, directors, coordinators, teachers, parents, distinguished guests that we have, the time members who've actually put in a lot of effort to get this all program, and finally the students for whom we have designed and curated this entire program. So welcome to everyone. So today I'll just cover a bit about what exactly is TIE and what do we do over here, right? So just taking you to the TIE chapter, right? So we so the TIE is actually a global body of entrepreneurs which is set up by entrepreneurs to support entrepreneurship and to help the entrepreneurs in the entire ecosystem wherever we operate. So founded in 1992, right? And we currently have approximately 12,000 members across 61 chapters across 21 countries. So it is a global organization that we are part of. So the main five objectives are mentoring, networking, funding, incubation, and education. So the TYE program is also part of the five pillars that we actually focus upon as such. So now looking at the chapter about so every single Thai state or every single entity is called as a chapter, and the Thai Chandigarh chapter is the one which is kind of hosting and helping you in your entrepreneurship journey over here. So it was founded in 2003, right? So it's a relatively experienced chapter per se, and as of now, it is ranked as in the top five chapters across India, right? We cover geographical areas which is Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, and Chandigarh as a union territory, right? We also are so we have got around 280 plus entrepreneurs who are part of our the Thai chapter in Chandigarh, and out of that there are 75 plus senior members who already are established and who want to give back to society. So we also conduct approximately 50 plus events throughout the year, and this excludes program like TYE, Thai University, and all, and we do a lot of support, mentoring, and sponsoring, and a lot of focus on developing entrepreneurship in the region. So we are also pretty popular on social media. We do a lot of coverage on social media and the digital media as such. So the main areas where our member base is, so we've got IT services, which are again, so tech is the main flavor of the Thai chapter as such anywhere. So we also have tech, the software and the services and the hardware part of the ecosystem. Along with that, we also support entrepreneurs, and we have got senior members from manufacturing, from PR services, from education or ed tech. We've got people from travel, hospitality, and tourism industry. We have members who are in financial services, in legal services, people who are from the pharma and the healthcare background, and also people who are into HR services and consulting services. So there are a huge amount of diversity that we have. So the kind of people that come together to help each other out, to promote each other's support each other business. So this kind of camaraderie is very amazing, and that is what we are looking at developing in the region. Now, so just like everything, so why are we here? So that's a very simple question that we ask ourselves every day. And so why is TIE here? And why are we actually doing this program? So we will look at why we do what we do and how do we do that. So we said we've got the four and five key pillars that we look at. So we've got mentoring, networking, we've got education, incubation, and funding. So now we focus on these five areas and help the local ecosystem to develop and foster. Now, how do we do that, right? It's easier said than done. So these are the mandates not only of the Thai Global, but also of the Thai Chandigarh chapter, because every chapter is mandated by the same philosophy or the same guiding light that has been laid down. So we are all entrepreneurs. So even I'm an entrepreneur, and everyone else that you'll be interacting with are entrepreneurs who are supporting the cause of entrepreneurship. So now let's look at, so we do mentoring, right? So one of the key things that we do is mentor the existing entrepreneurs in the ecosystem. So we have the members who are currently are present, and we also have got a lot of events which are open to non-members also. So we have got focus areas which are the Thai women, so which is focused on ethnicity of women. We want to help women evolve as entrepreneurs and have a larger say in the entrepreneurship ecosystem. We are supporting them, engaging with them, and telling that everything is possible, and whatever we can do to support Thai women is what we're doing. And we are happy to let you know that we have been given the award of the best chapter to support Thai women. We also support our members. So all the members, we said around 280 plus members are business owners. So we coach them, we guide them. We have got a lot of workshops that we do for them, which helps them evolve their own skills, or which helps them hone their skills on business, on marketing, on financials. We also support the team members of those member organization. So we do workshops on HR or on legal aspects, so that the entrepreneur becomes successful individually and also as a team. So this is the way that we support and mentor the members, and the events through which the non-members can also engage with us. The other thing that we do is networking. So a well said thing that your net worth depends upon your network. So we inculcate a practice where people are able to intermingle with like-minded people. So cross pollination happens, inspiration happens, and we do it through the largest event, TyCon, which we are synonymous with. So TyCon, for this year we had around 1800 plus delegates who had come and who had seen the single day event with a lot of speakers from across the countries. We also do events on an ongoing basis. So we do around 50 plus events on an average per year. Along with that, we also help our members to network with international chapters or international countries and governments. So we also do projects which are of larger nature. And we have taken delegations out from India to Israel, to Dubai, to UK missions and those kind of things. So we help the entrepreneurs in the region to network with like-minded people, not only in India, but also abroad. So we also have got special focus groups, which is there for the charter members, and a special charter member smart card, which is there to help people network amongst the charter members who are the senior members. So now, if I look at it, we have an eye on the present, which is the current ecosystem, the present entrepreneurs are there. We also have an eye to the future, which is the entrepreneurs in the making, just like budding entrepreneurs like the TYE and the TYE University program addresses. So we are looking at creating an ecosystem where we are able to influence and put a small thought that everything is possible, and we are there to support, to help any dream to be achieved, and nothing is impossible with all the support that we are able to provide. So we want to help people imagine a future right from the childhood itself, so that we are able to support them and they know that there is someone with a safety net there to help them, guide them, mentor them to achieve the dreams that we have, that everyone has for themselves. So TYE, the Thai Young Entrepreneurs, and Thai University is part of that. So along with the present and the future, we also support the ecosystem as far as incubation is concerned. So we work very closely with government agencies. We work closely with HTPI, where we are running a program called as Neuron, which is into artificial intelligence and machine learning, and where we help incubate a lot of new companies which have ideas and at an idea stage. We also do a lot of clinic incubation clinic, and we run a lot of competitions. Now, if I look at it globally, we also provide funding. Now, there is Thai Angels Network, which is there. We also are working very closely with Chandigarh Angel Network, which is the 80% people of the CAN are actually the Thai members. We also have international programs, which is Access, which is primarily in US as of now, which focuses on the minorities to help them invest in the minority so that they can actually be a great entrepreneur in their own rights. So along with that, we also have Opportunity Network, where we are able to also give deals globally. So We can give our India deals to the people in Americas or anywhere in the world across the chapter. And we can also invest in deals which are there internationally, and we get a flavor of what is happening in the world. So sitting in Chandigarh, part of the TYE Chandigarh members actually are connected throughout the globe with all these initiatives that we have. Right. So the TYE program sits right in our future planning. So it is helping us create a pipeline of future entrepreneurs who are going to create the name of TYE Chandigarh or the name of the Chandigarh as an area equivalent to a Silicon Valley in the United States. We have got the best things, we've got the best infrastructure, we have the best education facilities, and we have the best paraphernalia and the support mechanism to help entrepreneurship in the region. Now, so this is what we currently are doing right now, and we bring everything together under the TYE Chandigarh chapter. A couple of the sponsors that we have been having who have been supporting us in the past. So we've got the government of Punjab. We work with German government. We work with a lot of people, and they're all partnering and supporting us in a lot of ways to help promote the focus of entrepreneurship in the region. We also take international delegations. As I said, we got international connect with a lot of governments of Canada, UK, Belgium, and those kind of places. We can actually go through all the snapshots of all the events that we have been doing continuously for the past so many years. So I'll just scroll through, but you'll see a lot of opportunities that we are creating for people to get together with like-minded people, to understand what is happening, to get inspired, and to look at everything which is possible in the world, right? So so this was Sophia. For the first time, Sophia had come to Chandigarh. It is an artificial intelligence and robotics marvel in the world, and we were proud to have Sophia in our chapter as Tycon. And we've got the dignitary, the who's who has been their part of the cause of supporting and evolving entrepreneurship in the region. Now, with this, I come to an end of my small presentation about what TYE Chandigarh is and why we are looking at focusing on TYE and TYE University as a future entrepreneurs. Now, I thank everyone, and I wish that we are able to grow the TYE and the other focus areas strength to strength every single year by support of all the people who are involved in the efforts of focusing and fostering entrepreneurship. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vikasji. Thank you for sharing the wonderful presentation. I'm sure the kids here and the audience here will now has a better perspective to what TYE is. So moving on, I would like to invite Mr. Samar Singla, founder and CEO, Jugnoo and Jungleworks. Mr. Singla is among the leading entrepreneurs in the country, and his expertise in data and analytics has spearheaded the growth of several major companies. He is the co-founder of Jugnoo and Jungleworks, which offers SaaS-based platforms and have developed transformed on-demand industry. He is an avid traveler and an amateur photographer who likes to document the mundane and everyday world. He has worked for University of Maryland, CERN, and IBM, dealing with large amount of data and analytics. He is an alumni of IIT Delhi and IIT Mumbai. So before he begins his talk and we bring him in front of you, on behalf of TYE, it's a very special day for him. It's his birthday. So on behalf of TYE, we would like to wish Mr. Samar Singla a very, very happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Samar.
Happy birthday, Samar. Samar, you're on mute, please.
Hi, Samar.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for making this special even more. And to be honest, I'm a very non-birthday celebrator kind of person. But now my daughter is growing up and she's become crazy about birthdays. So I guess, yeah, otherwise I'm a person, who likes, okay, just let it pass just like another day. But yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you so much, Samar. So over to you. You have 15-20 minutes. You
Sure.
can talk about entrepreneurship, your journey, your experiences, how you have become what you are today with the students of TYE.
Sure. So thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks to TYE. I mean, you guys are doing tremendous work in Chandigarh in developing the ecosystem, and I really think that you guys are the torch bearers here, and hope you guys continue the excellent work, and Chandigarh can achieve its true potential as a startup hub. And when I spoke with Ritika a few days ago, I think I told her also that I mean, journey to yaar, it's all very obvious. So since you guys are all like very young and kind of starting up almost, right, and super early stage. So I thought I'll kind of tell you a few things which I wish I knew when I was your stage, right? I mean, there's always this this cult of startups, which is how do you build a great startup? And the formula is generally always like very how to build a Facebook or a Google kind of formula, right? But the irony is that most people are not even trying to build a Facebook or a Google. They're mostly trying to build, let's say, an Infosys or a successful company, but we're just not being told the right formula, in my opinion, right? I mean, again, there's no one path to success. So I wanted to, and I really follow Peter Thiel, entrepreneur in US, um, and he says that what is the common knowledge, or what is the common truth that is invisible in plain sight, right? So I was thinking of kind of um, sharing a little bit about those kind of things which are being told all the time, but in my opinion are kind of wrong, and you should follow the opposite direction. So let me kind of start there, and it's okay to disagree, so there's no issue there. I'm happy to be disagreed upon, uh, but yeah, here's my thought. So first and foremost, the thing I would really like you all to think about is, and this is something a friend of mine who's now a VC, college mate from IIT Bombay, told me like maybe 10 years ago. And he said, don't build for Indian market. I know, our prime minister, everybody says Indian market is huge, let's build for Indian market, it's great. But to be honest, guys, Indian market is not a very big market, and it's a very small market in terms of market size. So you should actually build for global market, right? That's my view. I mean, look at the GDP per capita, look at the disposable income per person. So all those things make India as a pretty bad market, in my opinion. Yes, great companies can be built, but so the exact wording that my friend who's now a VC in US told me was that the effort you need to build $100 million company in US is the same effort you need to build a $1 billion company. So in India is the same effort you need to build a $1 billion company in US. And my analog to that is like it's not about it's not that building companies in US is easier. Building companies here is fairly easy also now, but it's actually the market you're chasing. The market is just very massive globally. If you look at Israel, you look at Scandinavia, you look at New Zealand, almost every company that becomes big there, the day one, their thinking is to go for a global market, right? And that really helps you to think like a entrepreneur who's chasing the right matrix. And also another way to look at it could be that let's say, don't think of India as a $1 billion people, billion people country. Think of India as a set of 4 or 5 countries, and one of those countries is Delhi NCR, one of those countries is Mumbai, Bangalore, and maybe one more. In fact, I would say think of India as a set of these 3 countries, and what is the population of these 3 countries. That's it. So it's like sort of 3 Singapores, right? If you think like that, I think you'll have a better understanding of what real India is. And even though you can focus on rural India, you can build it very painfully slow process, but if you want to choose the easy way, I think build for the global markets. So that's one thing that, people are obviously told all the time that, build for India, build for Bharat. I genuinely think you'll be better off building for global markets from India. And which takes me to the second point, focus on the strengths, right? And this is especially true for, let's say, entrepreneurs who are in tier 2 cities in India, Chandigarh, Jaipur, Indore, Kochi, like a lot of other places which are clearly tier 2 cities. And they are the new startup hubs. If you see Car Dekho from Jaipur, Indore has a few very good companies. These are the new places which are doing really, really well. Companies from these places are doing great. And a big reason for that is actually, the sorry guys, my dog is barking a little bit. So the big reason for that is the quality of life is better, cost of living is much better, much cheaper, and there's much lower distraction in these cities, right? If you go to Bangalore, there is just so much attrition because of, like, everybody has so much distraction in a tier 1 city in India. It's just very easy to kind of be in a tier 2 city and build from there. So but here's the catch, right? You should focus on your strengths here. Don't try to replicate a tier 1 city being in a tier 2 city, right? So by that, what I mean is, like, focus on training, because you will get a lot of cheap talent, but they'll not be that well trained, right? So think about what are the things you need to do or you need to improve, because your cost of capital is, or because your talent is better in terms of cost structures, but they are not necessarily having the same kind of exposure. So again, I mean, the idea is to see, okay, what is your strength, what is your weakness, and focus on your business model in terms of your strengths, which in tier 2 cities is focus on training of your staff. Then you can have a much lower cost base, which is a tremendous strength in my opinion. But if you really just compare your people apple to apple with a tier 1 city like Bangalore, I think you are going to have a little disappointment. So that's the second thing I would say. I mean, because most people will advise you to go to Bangalore or Delhi NCR and build from there. I genuinely think that it's not necessary, provided you think about your strengths and weaknesses and kind of adjust your business model that way. And to kind of sum it up, the final thing that I would like to say, contrary to the common advice, is a lot of entrepreneurs are given the advice to not worry about monetization early on, right? Almost every book, almost everything says, don't worry about money, it will come. I genuinely think, at least as a early stage entrepreneur and definitely as a first timer, you should definitely just chase the cash, right? I think, this is a very, a seasoned entrepreneur who's done like 4 or 5 exits does not have much to lose from a social security perspective. It's fine to, focus on the long-term, big-term picture and not worry about cash for the first few years. But I think there are very few people like that. That's my opinion, right? And especially the first time guys. So in my opinion, go for short-term cash, chase the cash. Once you have the cash flow, you'll start realizing that your next steps become obvious, right, as you go. So I'll give you a simple example, right? I mean, when we started Jugnoo, so one of our like senior guys, Parag, he came to me with a spreadsheet showing why Jugnoo can never work, because Ola, Uber are burning so much money, and like our margins and stuff like that. It was a pretty detailed thing, and it said that the bigger we become, the more unsustainable the model becomes. And I said, it seems true, and but I still chose to do it, right? So I'll tell you where I was wrong and where I how I corrected it. So I was wrong actually in the fact that this guy Parag, he was completely right. he was completely right in saying that, you know, this business model is just not sustainable at all, right? But I had this vision of, okay, don't worry about cash will follow, you know, let's just scale it, right? And it was not working. It would have never worked. So, you know, I realized it, let's say a few years later. And what I did was, okay, I went to the basics, which was my, let's say, bania way of doing business, and said, okay, let's chase the cash. You know, how would I chase the cash if I wanted to run Jugnoo? In fact, my board also told me the same thing. You know, about 2 years ago, when we were kind of, you know, not facing any progress, we were kind of in a dead end. So they said, think of it like, you know, you're starting a new company. What would you do, right? You have some cash in the bank, and think about it. I said, that's a good way to think about things. And I said, I'll chase the cash, right? And the way I did that was I started doing, you know, or selling Jugnoo as a B2B platform globally. And today, you know, even in fact, a lot of people ask me, is Jugnoo still working? I say, yeah. I mean, we are actually fairly prosperous and profitable. We are live in about 150 countries right now as we speak, in, you know, tier 3, tier 4 markets. So we said, okay, you know, chase the cash. And the cash was going B2B and being in places where nobody wanted to be, right? I mean, these markets were too small for Uber. Like, our biggest market are actually Trinidad and Tobago, right? And think about it. This island has probably like less than a million people. I think way less than a million people. But still, you know, it works. I mean, there is cash there, there's market there. Why don't you capture it? So I think, you know, again, I mean, in the hindsight, if I had everything known, probably I would choose a different problem statement. I said, you know, I mean, I feel that I still got lucky that, you know, we had a chance to pivot, right? And we kind of did that. So, you know, with that, what I want to just convey to you guys is that, see, guys, if you always follow these mantras which are given as a startup kind of, you know, mantras by successful people, you have to understand how to really apply them to your own situation, right? And that's why, you know, when you are an early stage entrepreneur, a lot of times you should actually look at this advice and think about it from that, you know, Indian way of doing business, right? And you might be able to create a much better company with a, you know, much better success rate. It might not be as glamorous, right? I mean, if you look at Flipkart, if you look at Ola, if you look at, um, you know, some of these other like really fancy companies today, right? Yes, it's not as glamorous, but it's much more successful, right? And the problem with building a glamorous company is that founders actually got shortchanged in most of them. I mean, if you see, founders generally get out soon, and if you are lucky, you make a decent amount of money. If you're not, then you actually don't even make a lot of money. So I think, you know, be practical and and think a little bit like a traditional Indian businessman for some time. And when you have like a little higher, I would say, success ratio, then you can start thinking about more risky and more long term things. So anyway, I mean, that's what I think. You know, think short term, not long term. This is one thing I keep telling my people, and they really, I think, hate me for it most of the time. But I think it's worked for us, so hopefully it'll work for you also.
Thank you so much, Samar. Thank you for the insights. And I love the point where you say that, you know, chase the cash, which I think majority of the entrepreneurs think of the opposite. But
Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much. So do we have any questions from the audience as well as the core team? I'm sure we do have some burning questions that we wish to ask Samar before he has to head out. Pritika, Priyanka ji, Harit?
I have a question for Samar. If may I,
Sure.
Devinder, please.
Yes, please.
Okay. Samar, I've of course interacted with you before as well, and I again remember taking a lot of answers out of you. But what is the one, we all have a lot of young audience here, and what is the one thing that that you believe, according to you, is that most critical skill set an entrepreneur would require? I mean, they're all young ones, so in case they are looking at it, I'm sure they would like to build that particular skill set for themselves right away. So that's my
Sure.
question.
I
Thanks.
think that's a very good question, and I think I should have covered it in my talk anyway. So good that you asked. So guys, by the way, this is not planted, so it's original. Okay, so I would say that see, depends a little bit on culture, right? I mean, where you come from. Let's say if I am from a particular culture, and so because of that, I'll answer it in a Indian context. And I think for us Indians, that skill would be sales, right? I mean, there are far too many entrepreneurs who will build a decent product, are very good at tech, but they're just afraid to hear no's from the customers. They have just, especially in North India, I'm sorry to say this, guys, if it bruises some egos, we
Agreed.
just have so much ego and pride. We are not that Punjabi culture, uh, and it stops us from hearing no's, getting rejected. And I think a very critical skill set as an entrepreneur is the ability to get rejected again and again, and still having that grit to go ahead and keep pitching. So I would say, if you are an entrepreneur, really, do your sales yourself, right? I mean, don't worry about the product being finished. And I see so many entrepreneurs, when we invest in them, where people say, okay, but I'm just going to finish this thing in 3 months, then I'll start doing sales. And I always tell them, guys, why don't you start talking to your prospective customers? Just tell them that, I'm solving this problem. The product is going to be ready in 3 months. Why don't you sell it before you build it? Or why don't you sell it before you are ready? And people are okay. I mean, and in my opinion, in fact, I did this, when I would go to people and say, okay, I'm building this, and if you really commit something to me in terms of dollar amount, I'll give 1/10 or 1/8 the price, right? And I've done that, and I've done that successfully. So what I mean, I've had to give refunds also when things didn't work out quite well. But what it does is that it allows you to fail and in the right direction, right? You can fail 4 or 5 times before you are ready to go to the market, but you might just hear the same things that you will hear once the product is also ready. So sales is that skill set, and going and failing and keeping your ego in your back pocket is, I think, the most important skill for an entrepreneur.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Samar. Davinder,
Welcome.
do we have any more questions?
Yeah, can I ask a question to Samar?
Yes, Mr. Tewari.
Hi, Samar. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks a lot, man.
My question is, I have two parts. I mean, you have a fantastic educational background coming from IIT Delhi and Bombay. What made you to take the entrepreneurial route, right? And the second one is, are you the first generation entrepreneur in your family, or the business genes were there already in the family?
So, I think they are both kind of related. So the answer is actually, the second one is more important. You'll get the first one automatically.
Okay.
See, my family, my father's side of family, nobody has done any job ever, right? And I think even to this date, they probably have started doing, like my cousins and all. But so they started out as so like 3-4 generations ago, they were all like money lenders, and then started doing some. They were, I think, the first. My father and his brothers were the first generation entrepreneurs in their own village, where they started like a cotton factory, and bilkul filmy type story mein, that caught fire, and the whole family came to shambles. And then my every brother kind of worked hard from scratch to build it up again. And then my uncle, my chacha, was kidnapped, and the whole family had to sell everything again. and we came to, and this was when I was like 4 or 5
Oh
years
my
ago.
God.
And this is like total filmy story, but it's actually true. So this is, I remember, like, when I was a small kid and my mom would say, like, my chacha is kidnapped, and and we are kind of poor again. I said, sure. And so, our dinner table conversation has always been like, okay, so what did we sell today? What is so my father had poultry farms, like ande ka rate kya chal raha hai? Like that was like, every single time, I would call him, like, acha ande rate ki hai. So that was like our like first conversation starter. So I think, to answer you, I've never thought about doing a job, to be honest. And even when I was studying, I never knew what I was doing, what I was going to do. And the word entrepreneur was not there, but I always knew कि कुछ ना कुछ मतलब करूँगा ही, right? I mean, कुछ ना कुछ business ही करूँगा. So I hope that answers both of the questions.
No, brilliantly, and it got something more about you. We came to know more about you, right? So
it's a very filmy story, yaar, but actually I also feel, yaar, ki matlab this is pretty, when I, especially the thing that, the factory caught fire, everybody was on road, and then, kidnapping happened. This was in the, times when Punjab had, and there's like twist in the story. One of the kidnappers was actually my mother's student, and from college. And he actually negotiated and got us a discount
and got a cut too.
like discount for the ransom.
Probably made some money on the other side too, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know about that, but yeah, I mean, I was too young. But yeah, it's a story, which can happen only in Punjab, I guess. So that's why our risk tolerance is high, I believe.
Very true, very true. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Do we have any further questions for Samar?
Devinder sir, I have one question. Good morning to everyone and a very happy birthday, Samar. And
Thanks
we wish you all the very best for your future endeavors. Samar, as this program is for the budding young entrepreneurs from the Tri-City, one golden key that you would like to hand over to them, that they should always, during this program and curriculum of theirs, and to compete at the global level, that they should always keep with them on your birthday, that you would like to give them as a return gift. We want to have that from you.
Sure.
And students, be very, very openly and listen to Samar sir, and any questions thereafter, please feel free to ask. Thank you, Samar.
Thank you. So yeah, I mean, I always think a lot about it, I mean, what can I change in myself? I mean, I'm 35 today, and, I guess half-life Indian, so, I'm a physicist and that too nuclear physicist by education. So I always say, half-life ho gayi aaj. It's like 72 is the Indian kind of mean, or 70, I think approximately 70. So I've reached my half-life today. So some wisdom should be there. And I would say, that one thing I would really like every entrepreneur to appreciate, maybe they won't be able to appreciate today, but maybe few years, is the skill to have tough conversations, right? It's a learnable skill, right? Every young guy in their 20s thinks that, I'm like everybody, especially in Punjab, is an angry young man, right? I mean, I was, fairly angry young man kind of person. And, but I think the sooner you learn, I mean, the skill to learn, the skill to have tough conversations without losing your temper, that will give you such an amazing edge in negotiations. Because, I've essentially like trained my, the moment I know that, okay, let me start my protocol. And the step one is to slow things down, right? Step two is don't speak at all. Let the other person speak. And only when there is nothing else from the other side to speak, just speak at that time, right? And the third is, say things, even if they are tough, say things lightly. Just follow these, going in your head, okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, I have to do. And you'll see, like, you'll win negotiations like anything, right? It's so difficult for a person to go aggressive against a person who's not losing their temper,
American Express
that will be astonished. So it's much more powerful than, let's say, being aggressive. Like, two aggressive people fighting, nobody really cares. But one person being aggressive and the other person just like, being super chilled out, I think that's, you just won the war. I think, you can really win a lot of negotiations using this.
Thank you, Samar.
It's tough to practice it, yeah. Thanks.
Okay, so we have one question from a TYE student, first timer TYE, Navika Singh. Where do we get an idea from, Samar? So that's her
To
question.
be honest,
Where do we get
I
ideas?
genuinely think I get this question a lot, but I'm not an idea person, guys. I'm a very, very, my day looks like this. I speak to my customers for 3 to 4 hours every day, right? And generally, I'm just solving what problem they have, right? And I'm never like, the moment we realize, okay, somebody says, now it's diverging a little too much, or I say, okay, fine, just name it something else and go for it. But I'm not an idea person at all. I am a very, just say in college, we used to call ghissu, right? I was not a ghissu in college, but I consider myself a pure ghissu, yaar. I'm like hear the customer out, just solve their problems, and things keep happening, so I'm not an idea person, sorry guys. And to be honest, most entrepreneurs are not like, I got this idea, it's $1 billion idea. It doesn't work like that, right? It's almost always the grit. The ideas are fairly obvious. The way you solve them, the system you build around those ideas, the company culture you build, that's what makes you a good entrepreneur or not. So yeah. If you're not an idea person, don't worry. You can be a successful, entrepreneur for sure.
Very well said, Samar. So do we have any more questions from the audience, from the students?
So if there is none from students anymore, I would just like to ask, so Samar, a very happy birthday. I still
Thanks a lot, man.
One of the talks that you've given with Ritika, you said that if you are, 500,000 people in Chandigarh, you will be like, Ambani would be known. While if you are 500,000 people in Delhi, NCR or Bangalore, nobody would even, know about you because you're still too small. So I do remember that, and trust me, many like me would be chasing that dream, right now. And Ajay ji, probably this is the question. I think Ritika and Priyanka ji did ask this question to Samar, but let me just replicate the same to you. What do you think would be the, the key, golden key, as Priyanka ji said, that you would give to the students today, that they could take based on your experience, and anything that you would like to add there?
So I have to give a second key, I guess, to the same lock. So I can think of something. But yeah, I think guys, so apart from that, so there are, let's say, 3 cheezein ho gayi yaar. One is how to do tough conversations, learn that. Second is, how to sell, learn that, like ego ko back pocket mein rakh ke sale karna sikho. And third, I would just say to kids who are just starting out their career, that it's okay to actually start very, very early, right? हम अपना कॉलेज बहुत, जैसे मैंने फॉर एग्जांपल आई डिड अ लॉट ऑफ एक्सपेरिमेंट्स इन कॉलेज एंड ऑलमोस्ट क्या सारी चीजें फेल हुई. I failed like at 7 or 10. I started a website, it didn't work. I started like selling some circuits and all that stuff, didn't work. But I had so much because did not work means that we never like build it into a business. But I was still like making a little bit of money here and there by तो जैसे कॉलेज में कंप्यूटर किट्स और रोबोटिक्स की किट्स बनानी शुरू की, build a big massive company, but I still made like decent chunk of change, right? तो उससे कॉन्फिडेंस आ गया बहुत ज्यादा कि हाँ यार कोई भूखे तो नहीं मर रहे, राइट? एंड क्योंकि मैंने फिजिक्स पढ़ी हुई थी एंड जेई में फिजिक्स पढ़ाना इज लाइक अ डिसेंट बिजनेस दीस डेज. सो माय बैकअप प्लान वाज क्लियर यार कि अगर कुछ नहीं चला तो I actually met Stephen Hawking once in UK during an internship. Like not met him, just got a picture clicked with him. And I said, okay, I'll put that picture in front and I'll start teaching kids physics for JEE. तो उससे भूखा तो नहीं मरूंगा. right? And I think that's the real confidence, yaar, ki, you know, I was making a little bit of money here and there with these experiments in college. You know, कभी कुछ robotics पढ़ा दिया बच्चों को, कभी physics पढ़ा दी JEE के लिए, कभी कुछ कर दिया, right? And
so you are an idea man, Samar, right? You used
not really. I mean, people would come to me, yaar. I never said this. I would actually say somebody always had given this idea, someone else.
Yeah.
I was just the guy who executed it. In fact, even Jugnoo, you know, somebody else said, I don't even remember who said that, okay, let's do this auto rickshaw ride hailing. I said, let's try it out. I think I am the guy who actually is stupid enough to try it. You know, I'm almost never the person who comes up with the idea. You know, this circuit thing, you know, somebody else came up with the idea. I guess I am the guy with energy who says, okay, karke dekhte hain yaar. And while other people say, okay, this is a cool idea, but I don't want to try it. It sounds too cumbersome. So I think, you know, I would say start super, super early, guys. Start failing. Don't worry about it. I mean, you know, if you start failing a lot, who cares, yaar, how many times you fail? Like the first time you succeed, everybody just cares about that. Cool.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, any further questions? Just one last call before we move on.
I had a question, if I may ask.
Yes, please. Yeah.
My question is that, let's say for company sales are going downhill, or maybe the sales have just flatlined. So what would your advice be in that situation to maybe boost the sales of the company or something?
I mean, depends. Like, I mean, generally, you know, sales go down because of a few reasons. It could be competition. It could be, you know, your sales kind of hitting a let's say roadblock in terms of number of people, or finally it could be because of some changes in the market, right? I mean, the product is not relevant enough. So what I would say is that, you know, it's first of all, you should expect the sales to plateau, right? From the very beginning, when sales are going up, I think we just assume that, you know, this is how it's going to be like forever. I think that's the first place where you need to start realizing that, okay, the plateau has to happen. What do I do when it happens? So like figure out what is one of these three reasons. You know, is the market moving on? Do you have too much competition? And do you have too much, you know, I mean, do you not, is your internal sales process not working enough? I think the third one is rare because, you know, if it's not working, then I guess if you've been selling, you're probably fair, you know, smart enough to figure out the internal processes. So if it is one of the two, let's say if it is competition, you know, innovate essentially by bypassing, you know, don't go head on by lowering prices. I think that's a very short term and bad strategy. So try to figure out what is the competition doing and bypassing them. And same, if the market is also moving somewhere, figure out where the market is going to move, you know, in future. If you have missed a boat, don't worry about it. Pick the next one, right? Don't get hung up on failures and just move on to the next one 6 months later. I mean, the good thing about and the bad thing about today's market is that it moves very, very quickly. No matter how successful or unsuccessful you are, lifetime of a wave is like 6 months to a year. So, you know, the next one is always coming. So I would say just analyze and, you know, go for it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So thank you so much, Samar, for sparing the time out with us today
Thanks,
on a
guys.
Sunday and on a special day of yours. So I would like to invite for a very quick moment our president, Mr. Hirdesh Madan, for a vote of thanks, as you won't be able to stick along for a while at the session because we still have an hour to go.
Sure.
So Mr. Madan, hi. Good morning. Please unmute. Hirdesh, sir, please unmute.
Happy birthday, Samar. In fact, what a lovely day to give such kind of gift to our young ones. And
Thanks.
I'm saying last time also when you came for the My Story session, I think it was amazing to listen to. Every time I think you come to TYE, I think there's a great contribution in terms of, you know, the way you think, the way you know, carry yourself. I say amazing. I say you are really, I say, inspiration for all our young ones. And on behalf of TYE, I would like to thank you to take out time on Sunday and enlighten our audience. And I'm very sure all the effort which we are doing, you are doing, TYE is doing, will bear fruits in future when Chandigarh will become a big destination, and all of us are, I think, try to do, and because we love our city, and I'm very sure that this is going to happen soon. So once again, Samar, thank you very much, and we keep on inviting you in TYE and helping us to build the ecosystem. Thank you very much, Samar.
Thanks a lot. Always my pleasure to be speaking with TYE folks, and the stuff you're doing is just commendable, guys. So thanks a lot for all the work that you have been putting in. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, I feel guilty sometimes. I'm not available a lot of times, but yeah, it's always great to interact with you guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Samar. Thank you.
Samar.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So guys, moving along, we have our next speaker, Mr. Ajay Tewari, CEO smartData Enterprises. So Mr. Tewari is the CEO of smartData Enterprises. He earned his BTech H&D from Marine Safety Agency, UK, and Bachelor's of Nautical Sciences from Bombay University. As an alumnus of TS Rajendra, he has served international shipping companies for 11 years before he kickstarted his entrepreneurial journey with smartData as its co-founder in the year 1999. He worked in the capacity of VP operations, and initially sales was his forte. He was given the charge of smartData in 2004 as its CEO, and under his leadership, the organization has grown from 50 employees to more than 850 employees today. He has played a key role in expanding smartData sales, traveling frequently to US, UK, Australia to meet global clients. His proactive people management and inclusive leadership style make him a favorite amongst his team. Mr. Tewari is a very well-read person, and his command over his subject is impeccable. He has also served as the president of TYE Chandigarh chapter for the year 2015 and 16, and is one of the founding members of the group and regularly mentors budding entrepreneurs. He is also the chairman of CAN as of now, and has invested in over 30 plus startups in the last 2 years. He's an avid sports lover, follows all sports closely, cricket being his favorite. He is an active trekker and has successfully scaled Everest Base Camp twice. Yeah. So I would like to invite Mr. Ajay Tewari to switch on his camera and begin his special address, please. Mr. Tewari, over to you, please.
Yeah, thank you, DP, and good afternoon, everybody. Slight correction in that description. I have not invested in 30 startups. CAN has invested in 30 startups. I chair that CAN board.
My bad, sorry. Yeah.
All right, so it was a fantastic listening to Samar and hearing his story. But I understand that the audience today is very young and even still figuring out the concept of entrepreneurship. And I find myself as a very fit candidate to kind of motivate you that why entrepreneurship is important for you, right? But before I start on that, let me explain my definition of entrepreneurship. I think entrepreneurship is creation or extraction of value. Either you create value or you extract value. That is what entrepreneurship is. Now that value can be in any form. It can be tangible, intangible. That is up to you. For some, it is the money. For some, it is the name. For some, it is the fame. And for some, it is just social for the society, right? So it's a choice you make. You know, when we were growing up and we had the similar story like Samar, I mean, I'm the first generation entrepreneur from my family. We come from a defense background. And my journey in entrepreneurship, and I'm going to share some of the secrets which I've never shared on the TYE forum for last 20 years. When we were growing up, we were asked to either become a doctor or an engineer. Commerce was not hot. So either you become an engineer, usually boys, and the girls go to become doctor. And as you know, as you are aware, not everybody is brilliant in the family, right? If you have two siblings, one may be very brilliant, other may be okay. So I was the okay kind. My brother went to IIT, and I was forced to prepare for IIT, JEE, and all those engineering stuff. And I was a very, very, very avid sports person, wanting to play for India in cricket. My dream got ended when my father asked me to decide between studies or sports hostel, because the money was coming from there, right? So I had to take the choice of going for studies. And probably the first seed which got sowed was that I did not wanted to become an engineer. So I applied for Merchant Navy. So instead of, I got through IIT JEE, I got through engineering colleges, but I went to Merchant Navy. Those days, T.S. Rajendra used to give a direct call to IIT JEE student. And why I went to Merchant Navy was because I felt कि वहाँ पे मेरे फैमिली में जो सारे इंजीनियर हैं वो मुझे परेशान नहीं कर पाएंगे. I'll be free. I'll be independent. Nobody can tell me. I will decide my own fate. And that's a very, very important aspect of or quality of anybody who's trying to be an entrepreneur. Can you think independently? कि आप अपने लिए खुद के लिए सोच सकते हैं without worrying about what others will say. And also one learning from there is that you don't have to be a bookworm. You have to be an all-rounder. That doesn't mean that you don't study. You study, but you study what is relevant. If it is a game of marks, go through your marks race and keep your parents happy for that. But study what is relevant, what will be useful for you in times to come. Because what you read in books usually doesn't become useful in life in the longer run. So be an all-rounder and expose yourself to different people and situation. Like what Samar said, start early. At this age, there is a usual tendency of hiding behind our parents, right? कि मैं उनको नहीं जानता हूँ, मैं उनसे कैसे बात करूँ? मैं अपनी young audience को address कर रहा हूँ, मैं senior entrepreneur के लिए नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, so please exclude yourself from that. Meet people. लोगों से मिलिए, बातचीत करिए. I think Navika has asked this question, कि where do you get an idea from? You will get an idea from people around you. The only thing is you are not being observant about changes which are happening in a very subtle manner around you in your ecosystem. अगर आप observe करोगे अपने आसपास लोगों का conduct or behavior towards anything, and then you see that that anything is has not been taken care of or being neglected, and it is gradually becoming an issue for most of the people. Right there, you have an idea. You have a problem which is not being addressed. And from there, if you think you can solve that problem, and solving the problem is easy because you have identified the problem correctly. Half the solution is in identification of the problem correctly, right? So be vigilant, look around, and get out of this ring of comfort around you, which we create because of our lack of confidence, shyness, or whatever. And we use that I'm a very reserved student. मुझे पढ़ने से मतलब है, इसके अलावा मुझे कुछ नहीं करना. वो आपको दिक्कत देगा. Entrepreneur, and why I'm saying it is going to give you a problem, because tomorrow you are going to lead a team of people. If you are not able to communicate with different type of people, and you only want to communicate with a if you're a topper, you're always hobnobbing with the top 10 students in your class. You don't go to the guy who has failed in the class. Maybe he will become a CEO of a company 20 years from now, and you may have some business relationship with him tomorrow. So you never know. Life is very, very uncertain. So go around, mix around, talk, It will improve your communication skills. And communication skill is not how good or fluent you are in spoken language, but communication is also, are you receiving the communication correctly? Because communication ultimately is in the hand of the receiver. कि आपको क्या बोला गया और आपने क्या सुना. So as DP said, I come from a Navy background. And the first lesson we learned in Navy on the training ship was, when you go to a senior, you salute and you say, sir, reporting sir. And the senior will give you an order, go and get me this book from the library. And usually you will go and get the book from the library. But in Navy, the rule is, you repeat the order, go and get the book from the library, sir. Because that tells you that you have received it correctly, right? And I remember when I made the first mistake, I was given 20 rounds of the deck as a punishment, and I remember it till today. Then you are in the scoring system, which is very, very severe on results. If you get less marks, you are bad. If you get good marks, you are very good. And that, in a way, curtails down our tendency to take risks or experiment and fail. And what Samar alluded to, you have to do experiments right now from today. Or if you are doing it great, keep continuing that good job. Keep experimenting, keep failing. But because of the fear of failure, if you don't even take the first step, then probably you are not the right material. Probably you will not become an entrepreneur. And failing doesn't mean that you start thinking about failing in small things. Put your hands where you are not confident. यार ये करते हैं, मैंने कभी नहीं किया तो क्या हुआ? अगर इस बार करूंगा तो थोड़ी कम गलती करूंगा, उसके बाद करूंगा थोड़ा और कम गलती करूंगा. And what is experience? Experience is learning from your mistakes. So make more mistakes. That is the outcome of what I'm trying to say. Make mistakes. Don't listen to those who are saying गलती करना गलत बात है. अगर आप गलती कर रहे हो, you are lucky. You are getting to experiment. That is my advice. Then don't create fixed ideas in your mind. Don't create fixed ideas in your mind, because if you create fixed ideas in your mind, those ideas will change every day. कि मुझे बड़े होके I have to start an IT company, or I have to create an IT product. No. Ideas will change with time, and you change your ideas with time. I've seen youngsters whom I meet sometime. They have already decided what are they going to do. They are going to create a social product. They are going to do this. No, don't do that, because go with the time. Then the next important key, I would say, ask why to everything. Ask why. Don't accept the status quo. होता क्या है कि आप इंजीनियरिंग या डिग्री करके आप क्या सीख जाते हो? What and how. How to do it and what to do. But please understand, before these what and how, there's a very important element, which is why. Do you really need to actually do it? That is the question. If you don't need to do it, then what is the point of how and what? So why बड़ा important है? Then another trait which I would like, and please believe me, it can be inculcated. It is not, you're not a born entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs can be created. I truly believe, and I am a very good example of that. From a very regimented Navy life, I became an entrepreneur. It was very difficult for me to adjust to the civil life of it, especially in IT. But the more you practice, the more you get sharpened or polished. So ensure before you start your first step, why am I doing it? Even why am I attending this TYE? Is it because my dad told me to attend? or I decided to attend. If your dad told you to attend, then go and ask your dad why. Because if I would have listened to my father, I would have been in army today. So ask why should I join it? Right? And people say, "To बहुत question पूछते हो या पूछती हो." Don't get bogged down by that. That means you matter in this world, right? And obviously you have to be logical. You can't ask why for stupidity which you do. If you know it is stupid act, then don't say why I should not do it. But I'm talking about important questions, especially pertaining to entrepreneurship or business, right? Because many of you would be aspiring candidate for engineering or medical or whatnot, and you'll say, how will this program help me after that? No, this program is going to sow the seeds, which will germinate inside you in the next couple of years. And when you are at the right point, all what you will be taught in the next 3 months or 4 months will strike back at you. Oh yeah, somebody told me that. And that is a first mover advantage you will have, even if it is like, as you said, nose ahead difference in terms of race with your classmate sitting next to you. Let me tell you the fundamental of entrepreneurship based on my definition. First of all, there are 3 aspects to it. First of all, for you to be successful, there has to be an opportunity. Now, many people go through the entire lifespan complaining about opportunity nahi mili yaar, opportunity nahi mili. And I would say some of it is your destiny, your karmas of the past, your luck. So pehli cheez, opportunity, whether opportunity is there. So let's assume you are lucky that opportunity is there. Then the second aspect comes is, when the opportunity was there, were you there? पहले तो अपॉर्चुनिटी आपको मिले, मान लीजिए अपॉर्चुनिटी है पर उस टाइम आप वहां पे नहीं थे, you miss it. So what will make you be there? That is how you determine your goals in life. You identify the right place to be at, right place to work for. How have you prepared? Which stream you have picked up in your life? So, opportunity hai, aap wahan pe hain. Second point, still the concoction is not complete. You will not be successful if the third and the most important thing you don't have. Opportunity is there, you are there, but you don't have the talent to recognize that opportunity. आपके सामने से अपॉर्चुनिटी ऐसे चलती हुई निकल जाएगी और आप पीट करके खड़े हो गए. When all these 3 combine, then you get a success as an entrepreneur. So opportunity, when opportunity is there, you are there. 3, if you are there, do you have the wherewithal to identify the opportunity? And a lot of time people ask, when I interact with my peers or fellow entrepreneurs, and they complain, and I always look at their whole story and I see one of the key aspect is missing, and primarily it is the third one, that you don't have the talent. You have created a business, you have the money, you created a business, but you don't know how to identify the opportunity. As Samar was saying, you keep moving, watch the market, see the terms. If you miss this boat, get onto the next boat. These are the fundamental things. So from that perspective, I would say entrepreneurship is not a fashion for everyone to follow. People only see the brighter side of it, the success side of it. There is a other side of it, which every entrepreneur has a story within himself or herself, which they don't share, which is the hard part, which is the sad part, which is the tough part. And you'll always see an entrepreneur smiling, but behind their smile, there's a lot of pain, which he or she has gone through during the journey, because he cannot go and complain about how difficult the life is to anybody. While others can come and talk to them, they will leave you in between, they will go away, or they'll tell you things. So what I'm trying to stress upon is entrepreneurship gives you the freedom to do what you want, definitely. But it demands a lot of responsibility from you. A lot of responsible behavior. A lot of companies which are failing or which have failed in recent times is because the leadership acted irresponsibly. Now you cannot blame your age that I'm so young, how can I be responsible? Abhi tumhari age hi khelne kudne ki hai. Nahin. जिम्मेदारी लेना अभी से सीखना पड़ेगा आपको. Start taking responsibility. If your teacher is saying, come on, I need somebody to lead this, don't look right and left and say कि कौन हाथ उठा रहा है, कौन नहीं हाथ उठा रहा है. You raise your hand and go forward. And again, you'll fail. Doesn't matter. You have failed one more time. Your experience has gone one more time. Take it that way. So start taking responsibility. I know it contradicts to the age you are in. आपके ब्रदर सिस्टर बैठे डाइनिंग टेबल पे बैठे, मदर ने बोला खाना सर्व करो, अब आप देख रहे हो छोटा वाला उठेगा, आप उठ जाइए. वहीं से जिम्मेदारी लेने आना शुरू हो जाएगा. Or imagine when you are 20, 21, or whenever you're passing out from a graduate, post-graduation, you have taken hundreds of responsibilities. You're not scared. Others will be shit scared about, यार मैंने तो कभी कुछ किया ही नहीं, मम्मा ने किया था सब मेरे लिए. Right? So start taking responsibility. And a lot of blame, I give it to parents of this generation also, that they don't give it, right? They don't want to give it. कह रहे तुम्हें कुछ हो जाएगा, कुछ हो जाएगा. हमारे टाइम पे तो गायब हो जाते थे तो 8-8 घंटे ना फोन होता था ना कुछ होता, पूछते नहीं थे, बोलते आ जाएगा जब थक जाएगा, चोट लगेगी. So society as society develops, we become more protective about people around us. So start taking responsibility. Start raising your hand. Punishment में भी responsibility. झूठ नहीं बोलो, सीधा बात करो. ये सब बड़े fundamental traits हैं. बाकी आपको experts लोग training में सिखाएंगे. I'm sure that they are experts. You are lucky to get this kind of mentorship. We were talking in the beginning of the session that when we were growing up, we had nobody to turn around, with very few people. जिनसे टाइम लेना भी हमें 3-3, 6-6 महीने लग जाते थे अपॉइंटमेंट मिलने में. आज आपको हम लोग on a Sunday morning we are getting this kind of discussion. So you are lucky, take full advantage of it and start the journey. This journey will not be bed of roses, I can guarantee you. But yes, if you really take the journey to its logical conclusion, this will give value. As I said, it's creation or extraction of value. This will make your life worth living. Otherwise, you come and live and make money, enjoy the subtleties of life and go away. But the biggest satisfaction which you get as an entrepreneur is that you not only create wealth for yourself, but you also create wealth for society around you. So as people say, what change do you want to bring into this world in your life? And the simple answer is, when you come to this world and when you leave the world, if you leave the world a little better than what you got when you came, I think you have done your job. Entrepreneurship at least allows you to do a little bit of that. कि आप अपने चारों तरफ सोसाइटी और समाज में एक छोटा सा डिफरेंस क्रिएट करके चले जाते हो. चाहे आप 1000 लोगों को नौकरी देते हो, रिमेंबर एक बंदे को आप नौकरी देते हो तो उसके ऊपर 2 लोग तो कम से डिपेंडेंट होते हैं, चाहे उसके माँ बाप, चाहे उसकी फैमिली, स्पाउस या बच्चे. तो आप एक को एम्प्लॉय करते हो, 2 या 3 घर चलते हैं. एंड दैट होल सेटिस्फैक्शन व्हेन इट कम्स टू यू एज एन एंटरप्रेन्योर, यार my decision is affecting 4,000 or 5,000 people. Wow, I'm so lucky. God has been so kind to me. That kick is actually what makes entrepreneurship flourish. Why people go through this struggle कंपनी गोइंग बैड, नीचे जा रही है, पर छोड़ते नहीं, क्योंकि वो कहते हैं उसने मुझे वो सुख दिया जो मुझे नौकरी करने में नहीं मिलता। पर हाँ, रिस्क है, अगर आप नहीं लेना चाहते तो जाइए, ब्लू कॉलर जॉब लीजिए, व्हाइट कॉलर जॉब लीजिए, किसी एमएनसी में बैठिए, गूगल, और उसमें यू विल गेट गुड मनी। बट I call them highly paid sarkari babus, getting 3 lakhs or 5 lakh package, but they're still saying yes sir, yes ma'am. So choice is yours, but I believe, I strongly recommend, having traversed the journey for the last 21 years, and I have done naval life 11 years prior to it, and I can compare both. And I said, shit, I wasted 11 years in Navy. I should have started early. So those are my inputs, not in any particular order. I speak from whatever comes to my mind or my heart. So I have spoken. Happy to take any questions from any one of you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tewari. Do we have any questions from the audience, from the students, from attendees? Please feel free to unmute yourself, or you can use the chat box.
I have one question. Ajay sir, thank you for giving such a vital, जिसे हम अर्थ कह सकते हैं, it was the gist of the entrepreneurship, the truth and the facts and factual, which were shown with the reality, and the facts were put before the students. And I hope they will take all this back and start imbibing from today itself. I have one question today, Ajay sir. What role should parents play with these young entrepreneurs, so that while starting their journey through this tough road, they are able to go ahead successfully? Because parents are also part of their this journey.
See, in ideal world, they should support and not interfere, right? Because they don't know about entrepreneurship, right? So how can they guide? But in the practical world, what the problem is that everybody wants to send their kids to cricket training academy to make them Sachin Tendulkar. So they already defined the end goal. So end goal should not be defined, because entrepreneurship is a very, very risky journey. You don't know the. So parents have to be very, very patient. You know, they are investing in the future. Maybe they are investing in the future generations. No business succeeds in one generation. If you want them to become a legacy, it has to go to not 2, 3 generations. So probably the first generation will suffer in terms of money and whatever. It is the second and the third which is going to enjoy. And actually the second generation is most important, because they may go and burn all what you have earned, right? So parents, so again, it is not something of a hobby you want your son or daughter to go and take learning from. They should wholeheartedly support. My advice to all parents would be, think about the time when your boss has given you a good one. And what did you feel that time, right? Had I had an option, I would have kicked my job here, right? So you want your kids to go through that? No, right? And you also you teach your kid not to do this to somebody else, kids, right? So that is the point. But I think it is idealism and practicality. There's a lot of gap. We as entrepreneurs, all of us, keep hoping that one day it's going to happen. That's how TYE has been created and nurtured over the years. But our journey is going on. People are investing so much time on TYE. That's commendable. So yeah, I think session of TYE parents should also happen. My suggestion is to the TYE committee. And that if the experiment after the course college में ये मिला था, assignment मिला था, let them do it. After 5 years, it will be very, very, they will say that, yes, it helped. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Ravi, hi Ravi. You have a question?
Hi, DP, how are you?
I'm good.
Good morning, sir.
Hi, hello, my dear. How are you? Here's one of my mentee coming up from Australia. Acha, okay.
Okay, so I have a question.
मेरे साथ इसने काफी running walk की है. है?
बहुत कुछ सीखा है आपसे, तभी कहीं पहुंचे थोड़ा सा.
God bless you.
So I have a question, like maybe even like while an entrepreneur is starting out, or even when like me, as when you are an entrepreneur, even when you are starting out a new department or going into new technology, what is more important? Like as an entrepreneur, one should go by his personal instinct, or one should get stuck in all doing all those market research and going into all logics. What is like more important? Like both are important, but what is should be the first driving factor of an entrepreneur?
Instinct. Because instinct is not a fiction, imaginary fiction. Because as an entrepreneur, you always are looking, you're always educating yourself, trying to learn from different sources. So आपके मन में एक विचार तभी आएगा, उपजेगा, जब आपने उसका कहीं ना कहीं सीड डाला होगा. रैंडम नहीं आएगा. तो अगर then now the problem is instinct. People don't believe there's a gut feeling, right?
Yeah.
It is actually, I call instinct is intellect. And now the brain will start playing the game. अबे नहीं, ऐसे कैसे सोच रहे हो, गलत हो सकता है, तो फेल हो गए तो. So then you dilute the whole damn thing. So, and as you grow in your journey, and I can tell you very clearly, as you grow in your journey, this instinct will become so strong that you will only listen to your inner voice.
Okay.
But वो practice से आता है. धीरे धीरे आप करते रहोगे, फिर आप बोलोगे नहीं. Suddenly you're under the shower and you'll get a brain wave of wow, shit. मैंने सोचा इस बारे में. You are driving, or it will come in a very random thought. That's why a lot of big names, they say they keep a diary and pen next to the bed. रात में सोते में उठे, कुछ आया, लिख लिया, सुबह तक भूल जाएंगे. So subconsciously it starts impacting you, because you are always in that grind, right? As an entrepreneur, you're always thinking in some corner of your mind about your initiative, right? So I would call it instinct, which to me is intellect. And intellect is ability to decipher right or wrong. So if instinct or intellect is telling you, then that is the right answer.
Yeah. Right. Thank you.
Any more questions we have from the audience?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Good morning, sir. My question to you is that an entrepreneur has to adjust to many new and different circumstances and situations. And a lot of time it happens that a person who could have made it in the world of entrepreneurs was not able to, and changes the career option because they were not able to adjust to the new situations. So how to adjust and how to gel with the new situations, which becomes quite difficult at a lot of times.
That's a good question. The entrepreneurship, as I said, is a risky venture. So it's a high risk, high reward game. Higher the risk you take, higher reward you are going to reap. So, and adjustment is the name of game in entrepreneurship. If you are not willing to adjust, don't get into it. That's what I'm saying. You have to practice. You have to take responsibilities, and you have to actually be more in sync with failures. So if you like Samar said, 3 or 4 exit, that means you make one company, you sell one company, you make another one, you sell another one. So a lot of big entrepreneurs are also, they are called non-emotional. They say it's a power of idea. I make money and get out. That is the exit. So you have to adjust to that situation. While you show a lot of emotions because you have created it, but be ready at some point. You know, it's like a daughter. At some point, you have to say goodbye and hand over the daughter to somebody else to take care of. So similarly, if you sell your company and say, hopefully you will take care of it, right? So it depends on what is the situation. And that's why sometimes the situation will be something very, very unique for you. Nobody would have faced it. So that's why keep experimenting, keep failing, and then your brain will tell you the right answer at that point of time. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I have one, sir, I have one last one. I'm Saurabh Gupta, member TYE Core Committee. on behalf of all the students, I want to request that this is not at all enough for us. We want a one complete session from your end in the journey of this TYE. So I'm requesting on all behalf of my students.
यार आपका तो आदेश होता है टाई वालों का तो है ना, तो आपने आदेश दे दिया तो फिर आदेश सलाखों पे जब आप बोलोगे कोशिश कर देंगे, आप बताना 3 महीने में तो हो जाए, that's fine. Yeah, but what I would suggest is, if you are part of the core committee, my recommendation to you, and this is based on my experience with hiring youngsters. We hire about 100 to 200 students every year from different colleges across the country. Make them speak. They are very good at texting, right? Text speech. वो textual conversation करते बोलते नहीं हैं. नहीं चल पाएगा. India is going to suffer, I'm telling you, especially if you don't speak. You know, there's a body language issue, eye-to-eye contact, whether you are with me or not. Text तो चलता है somehow. Unfortunately, I'm seeing that. तो उनको communication करना सिखाओ. उनको सामने बैठ के face to face बातचीत कराना, बोलने, वो अंदर का जो एक वो होता है ना, क्या झिझक, उसको तुड़वाओ. राइट. एंड मेरा ये मानना है, मेरा अपना एक्सपीरियंस है कि मीडियोकर स्टूडेंट जो होगा, मतलब मीडियोकर में फर्स्ट डिवीजन आ जाएगी 60-70%, वो ज्यादा सक्सेसफुल होता है. I was one of them, and many of the entrepreneurs I know are in that same range. So we are at the cusp of second division, first division, और हम लोग क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली ब्रेन है द कैपेसिटी, कितना उसको यूज करोगे. सब कुछ 20 साल तक अगर खत्म कर दोगे तो आगे क्या यूज करोगे. राइट. सो वो भी कंजर्वेशन होना चाहिए दिमाग का. So let me know, let's talk about it if I get time, definitely. And now तो virtual है, तो virtual is easy. I can always जब चल normal हो, then I'm not in town traveling a lot, so I hope it helps. It helps your
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
If we
Avatar,
don't have any, I'm sorry, please.
Somebody's sending me a message from in the group. I don't know. He's a mariner. Okay, great.
So if we have any further questions, please speak up now. Otherwise, we'll move to the concluding session. Okay. So I would now like to invite our president, Mr. Hirdesh Madan, for a vote of thanks for Mr. Ajay Tewari, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajay sir. You always have been inspiration, and I don't know, a lot of you may not be knowing, actually, first time I was in Ajay sir's team, and this is the team who brought TYECon to Chandigarh. So Ajay sir is a great visionary, and I'm very sure, you must have listened to him, and his pointers are superb. Ajay sir is always my first president because I have learned a lot from him personally. And what today you see as a TYE today, I think he has a great contribution. Not only he comes as a mentor, as a speaker, but I think he's the one who reformed TYE. I'll use the word. I'm not saying every president has really worked hard, but I think that revolution, which I'll use the word, was brought by Ajay sir. And the TYECon, and today, when I go to the market, a lot of people do not know TYE, but they know TYECon. So I feel very proud that I've been a core committee member of almost 5 TYECons. And Ajay sir, thank you very much for coming today and contributing to the TYE, to Chandigarh's ecosystem. And I think you always come as a great inspiration to all of us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Hirdesh, for the kind words. It's a team effort. Everybody's contributed. I see JVG also in this conversation, surprisingly. So thank you for, he's here, and all the EC members, EDs, done a wonderful job. Keep up the good job, and wherever we can help, we'll always be there. हम लोग तो बुजुर्ग लोग हैं, भीष्म पितामह लोग, तो हम लोग तो ये बैठे हुए तो मदद कर रहे हैं, पूछोगे तो बताएंगे, है ना?
Sir.
Well done, and keep the flag flying. Well done.
Thank you. Thanks for coming, sir, and taking out time.
Bye bye, everybody. Take care.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So now I would like to basically invite our core team members, Ms. Priyanka Sood, Mr. Saurabh Gupta, Mr. Harit Mohan, Ms. Ritika, who represent the TYE core committee, to give our audience a brief introduction on what the TYE program is about. so that you have a better idea. And after the program, we will be opening up our, uh, our Google form. Our phones will be open. You can call us at any time if you have any enrollment, if you have any questions, if you wish to submit payment. So we are still opening up the last moment registrations for the TYE kits as well. Thank you. So over to you, TYE core team.
Yeah, thank you so much, Devendraji. It has been a wonderful session, and seeing the time limits that we have, I just want to run it very quickly on behalf of the entire TYE team this time. And of course, any of you could add in. So just to very quickly glance you through, some of you would be knowing TYE already. A lot has been said, so I won't spend much time, but I'll just try to summarize what will be the course expectations, where do we start, how does it end, and of course a little on the experience that we have from running the TYE program for the last 3 times now, and what we could actually do it better this time even. So TYE basically is in aim to foster young entrepreneurship, and this program is just not being run in Chandigarh. So TYE has global footprints. For example, you would see it is being run parallelly in several other cities in United States. Likewise, in India also, there are a lot of cities in India that are currently running this program. And the reason I show this slide is also to show you that the teams or the winners teams from each of the chapters is basically whom you would be competing with. So you have to make your game up. So it's just not now a school a level or a CBSE board level competition. It is going to go global much more. So it has an international angle coming in, and that's why the essence of the program is so a lot of mentors and a lot of experts would be given to you during this program, and you could expect and learn a lot from them while you are doing your startups. So just to give you an idea, so since we have been doing it for last a few years, so we have 10 plus schools who have participated in this program from the Tri-City region. Last year we heard 25 business pitches. So as was being told and asked in this session, even if you do not have an idea as we speak as of now, you would be given opportunities to think about it. They will be converted into proper business plans. You will be presenting it to the experts. For example, last year itself, about 8 to 10 mentors were allocated, and we plan to do it even more comprehensively this time. And we have this kind of schools participating. So this is the statistics from last year, but we already are closing both 35 to 40 registrations this year also, as what we are seeing. And that's what an appeal from the core committee is, that feel free to refer it to your friends who have yet not enrolled for the program, since Priyanka ma'am and that Saurabh sir were telling you yesterday in the icebreaker session, we will be beginning post Diwali. So that's about a week from now. So we are still open to have the registrations. This is to give you an idea that we heard some of these pitches from the last year. So you would see there were very, very good ideas. For example, I'll just name out 4-5 ideas, starting from say renting out the unused electronic gadgets that could be there, and especially during COVID, the unused laptops become a lifesaver for many of us. There were startups on hydroponics. We've heard about DIY deserts. We also heard about smart dustbins, car finder apps. So these are all the ideas that came in from the last year's alumni batches. And of course, we had winners from the Chandigarh chapter too. So we'll be repeating the same format. Ravtej, who founded Ludosology, basically a sports psychology app, was first. Kyra was second. She had an idea on Virasat, the legacy box, that's basically passing out the memories that our grandparents leave for us. And the third and fourth was shared basically by Bisr. who was on DIY deserts, and Pen Farms was fourth. So they were very interesting ideas, and I'm sure these kids were also at the same position as you may be today, who had probably just thinking where to go. But then, that's the beauty of this program. We help you mature, during the process, and any doubts that you may have, would be addressed. And this is the winner team from the last year. So you would see Ravdej, who is now founder and CEO Litisology and Kaira. They in fact got they also got testimonial from Bishan Singh Bedi, who's a former Indian cricketer captain on this startup. So that's the reach that TYE has. So we will be making sure the winners or the program members this year could get similar kind of appeal on their program, so you could see the extent. And the previous year we had also the winner, and Sejal was the winner who got it in 1819. So she would be also a face you'd be seeing in this session as well as an alumni. And just to give you a glimpse of how we would be doing it, so this is how the program has been planned. Of course, in the last session by Priyanka ji and Saurabh ji yesterday, they have already given you a very detailed version. So this is just a summary slide. We will be starting off this session post Diwali. The first couple of things would be how to ideate and do bugs and passion analysis. Then you would be given a good idea on design thinking, how to rapidly prototype the ideas into concept. We would be, of course, with the help of Ajay ji and Samar and similar eminent people, would be helping you do a virtual tour, if not physical tours this time with the companies, wherein you could understand how grown-up companies work. And then we would be, doing a lot of startup maths and lean canvas too. Then there are two major milestones. First milestone is TYE Chandigarh finale, which means that if there are 40 students that we would have enrolled for this session, you guys would be competing against each other for deciding a finale finalist from Chandigarh, and the winner would actually go and represent Chandigarh at a global scale, which is basically the last milestone of the program. That is, TYE global finale. So that's how the program is basically structured. We will be, inviting in. There are a lot of sessions on YouTube, that you could also see. We have a dedicated YouTube channel, and I'll just show you after the deck where you could find it. You could actually snapshot this particular slide from your mobiles or desktops to pass it on to other students that you may have. So that's how you basically get enrolled by paying a simple fee of 3,500. I'm sure the people here have already done it. So this is for some friends of yours who are yet to join it in class 9 to 12 who would like us to join. So you could snapshot this picture and send it across to them, since we're still open to enroll as many students as we could from Tri-City or any part of the 4 states, basically from J&K, Himachal, Haryana and Punjab. And then further in we had a very good journey video. Of course, due to paucity of time, I may not play it today. I'll just put it in chat window, so you could see parents testimonial and how parents and students both have enjoyed during this program. And of course, we are very active on social. You could actually snapshot this slide too, or find it us on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube also. Yeah, so that's it. A brief introduction from our side, and I'll just paste on the journey video, and over to you, Priyanka ji, Ritika, Saurabh ji, if you would like to just add in if I've left out anything.
No, Harit, it was brilliant. I'll just take a 30-second and then hand it over to the actual team here, Priyanka and Saurabh, who've been really driving this for the last couple of weeks, put in all the hard work. Just to say that I am also a parent. I am also an ex-team member. So I have seen this program from, the closest quarters possible. And I just want you all to know that give it your best shot. This is going to be a very, very interesting journey, and we promise you lots of fun and lots of learning. At the end of it all, you would come out wiser and better. That's all from my end. Thank you so much. Over to you, Priyanka and Saurabh, please.
Thank you, Ritika. And students, this is going to be like a mini MBA program for us. And together we are going to go through this journey. And the previous year team had made the Tri-City proud by being the best team globally. showing their team spirits over there. So this year we are going to go another milestone, learning a lot and going a step ahead, taking everybody along with us. And all the very best to everybody. And see you now coming to the formal classes on the weekend. And with a promise from all the students that we'll be keeping our cameras open, we'll be regular with the classes, and we are going to be asking as many questions. We are going to give our 100%, and we are going to make Chandigarh the proud and globally #1. Thank you, and over to you, Saurabh.
I won't take much time of these students. I just need a commitment from their side that yes, as I said yesterday on the group as well, we will dent the universe together. So now hand over to DP sir.
Thank you so much, Ritika ji, Harit ji, Priyanka ji, and Saurabh ji for your inputs. Now I would like to invite our president, Mr. Hirdesh Madan, who is also the founder of Intellisys Resources Private Limited, which is Bullseye. Mr. Madan is a serial entrepreneur and an expert in field of education and edtech. He has rich experience of creating multiple successful brands in the field of formal and parallel education, spanning over 2 decades in India. He started his entrepreneurial journey in 1998 with Bullseye, an MBA test prep institute, which has trained more than 100,000 students in classroom. He co-founded Mindtree, K-12 chain of schools, which has 6 campuses across the North region. So over to you, Mr. Madan, and please do share your inputs with the students.
Okay, thank you, DP. In fact, it's a great pleasure to talk to this young minds. First, before I start, let me congratulate the entire TYE mentors, TYE mentors, TYE team, Harit, Ritika, Vikas, who have been providing mentorship, and Priyanka, Saurabh, Puneet, Davinder, Jatinder, everybody has pitched in, and they've really it's a wonderful journey we are starting, and I'm very sure this great beginning is a sign that we will do wonders in this coming couple of months. Okay, so with this, I will move with some of my experiences. Though this session has been quite long, so I will keep it short. So, I last 22 years have seen almost 1 lakh plus students, and I will share with you some different perspectives because my earlier speakers talked about entrepreneurship. So I will not only talk about entrepreneurship because that has been covered, and I think we are going to cover in the next 3 months. So what I have seen, and that is a bigger question. At the end of the day, why want to be entrepreneur? Most of us, first we chase money and success because when you are young, you talk about money because that is the first motivation actually. So, to be successful, as Ajay sir also telling that sometimes it's not the topper in the class who is the most successful, in life. It is sometimes the people at 60% or the mid of the class, and we need to understand why of it. Because if they were so good, they were the toppers, they were the best ones, but why they failed sometimes miserably in the top. I have seen IIT and I am passed out also failing miserably, not only startups but also in life. Okay, so quick 2 things. One is that hard work, right? It may sound stupid, but the reality is, unless you are hardworking, you can never be successful. You may be the best of the mind. So I give example like this. You may have the best phone, maybe iPhone 12 recently launched. Tell me if it is not charged. Does it serve any purpose? Right. So if the hard work is not happening with IQ, it is useless. Right. And all you people are very young, you are in school. My one advice to you will be is that don't shirk from hard work. All the people, successful people you see, and when you open their story, everybody has worked donkey hard. Really very hard, I'm telling you. And success is not given to you, you have to get it. And in life, remember, you get what you deserve, not what you desire. And to get what you deserve, you need to up yourself, right? It's not the wish list which will help you to get through in life. So hard work is a common, and when you get into the top IITs or IIMs or any good B school also, they are not colleges which teach you, the marketing or finances of the world. The first thing is they teach, or they transform your personality. Same thing which happens in the army also, or the forces also. They form your reality. What do you mean by transforming your personality? First thing, they make you work hard. That's it. Day in, day out, night, day. So if you can do that of your own, the success is ensured. You have to be absolutely hands-on with working. So that's the one first advice. Now everybody may repeat hard work, but you cannot be successful without doing a lot of hard work. Please remember this, right? Now, second point is that only IQ is not going to help you. I cannot name, but recently we hired one person from PEC, passed out, and he was NTSC scholar, mathematics, computer science, below 10,000 in AI triple or JE rank. We had to unfortunately fire him after 3 months because he had a very strong IQ, but he had a very pure IQ. Means आपकी जो common sense है दुनिया की वो बहुत कम है. तो pure intelligence किसी काम की नहीं है. I'm not trying to blame Peck, or there could be circumstances that his family maybe he couldn't develop himself. But what I'm trying to tell you is, जब तक आप balance नहीं है life में, तो सिर्फ पढ़ाई नहीं, balance का मतलब है interpersonal relationship. आप अपने friends से कैसे बात कर रहे हैं, अपने पेरेंट्स से बात कैसे कर रहे हैं, टीचर्स से कैसे कर रहे हैं, किस तरीके से आप कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हैं, how you are communicating, how you are presenting yourself, how as Samar said about that tough negotiator. So that's what about the personality. If you have very strong EQ, only then you can be a very tough negotiator and sitting quietly, when the bad words are also thrown to you. And that is a lot of EQ which happens, and EQ does not happen when you study more. EQ will happen when you participate more, and TYE is one platform where you will get a chance to develop your EQ in fact. So that is very, very important at this stage. Second, my suggestion to you is that please don't think we want to make everybody of you entrepreneur. Please, we say we are exposing you to entrepreneurship. Please understand what I'm speaking. We are exposing you to entrepreneurship. Everybody, as earlier speakers also pointed out, everybody is not carved out to be entrepreneurs. It's okay. It's okay. Everybody is not carved out for entrepreneurship, but all the skills you will learn in TYE will help you to become successful in life. So don't think it's a course for entrepreneurship. If you see in hindsight, this is a course of personality development. This is a course which will shape off some of the things some of the knowledge, which I'm very sure, whether you're in a job or you're in a business or whatever you do, it will help you to become successful. It will help you to shape your personality. And at the end of the day, that's what you want, right? And in this journey, if you become a successful entrepreneur, I'm saying great, we have done our job. We also don't expect that everybody out of the 45 will become entrepreneur. But yes, our job is to give you those sparks at this stage. And second point, because you are young people, and one unfortunate part is, please do not study for marks. I know your parents will be telling you, you need to get this much marks, then you get admission in Delhi University, or I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to tell you is, please keep a balance between the knowledge and marks. Because a lot of times you have seen people have read something, but they don't have any interpretation about what they have read. They cannot apply what they have read to the life. अगर आपने जो पढ़ा आप उसको real life में apply नहीं कर पा रहे, इस पढ़ने का कोई फायदा नहीं है. You're just cramming, getting marks, getting a certificate, and you stuck up somewhere in the life, maybe in the job, maybe in entrepreneurship, because you have studied, never thought how it will be applied to life. So please, जब भी आप पढ़ रहे हैं, वो life में कहाँ apply होता है, वो कैसे, हम क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं, as Tewari sir also asked, so what, why, and how. The question is everything, why of everything has to be answered. हम ये क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं? History also has a lot to learn, teach you. Everything which you are, studying in school has some relevance to. Everything may not be great, relevant, 100%, but a lot of things will be partly relevant. A lot of things will be fully relevant. But remember, please, and I'm telling you honestly, when I was doing my engineering, I used to study even we have a lot of optional, questions, and you can manage with studying 70% of the syllabus and still become. I was topper of the college for almost 4 years. Still, I could top even not by touching 30% of the syllabus, but I never did that. I knew, okay, this is chapter. I'm not going to study for marks, but I'll study for knowledge. So please study for knowledge at this age. Very, very important. I told you hard work. Second is study for the knowledge. Third, please start taking responsibilities, as sir said also. Whether it's work at home, आप चाहे वो घर का काम हो, क्योंकि आज अगर आप इस एज में भागेंगे रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी से, फ्यूचर में आप कभी भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज लेने के लिए अपने आप को प्रिपेयर ही नहीं कर पाएंगे. Every time will be blame game. And third thing is, which I would like to discuss with you, is that always be open to learning. And the problem with a lot of us is mindset. If I've taken sciences in +2, I say no. Humanity is not something is of my interest. ये तो मेरे काम का ही नहीं है. Do you know that most of the people, CEOs of the world, the survey was conducted, and what was the common subject? It was not science, it was psychology. So in today's world, if you don't have a great grip on human psychology, you cannot be successful, because ultimately it's a game of managing people. And if you do not understand the psychology of people, you cannot manage them, because you don't know inside out of them. So point I'm trying to make you is, if you have taken sciences, don't think psychology is not for me. Right? You need to learn what is coming your way. A lot of time my friends appreciate, yeah, tere ko medical science ki badi knowledge, you're an engineer. I said, no, it's a very simple thing. When my kids used to well ill, I'll not only look at the medicine, but I'll look at which salt, and I will search which salt he has given. And trust me, after 5th visit, I start predicting my wife today is going to write this salt and note it down. Because doctors every time will change the brand, but the salt will remain same. And I can list down there are only 15 salts, 90% of the problem which are given. But the point is, somebody is given prescription, nobody's bothered why it was given. Simply you take medicine, get out. No. So I have that inquisitiveness ki bhai kyun diya? Iska purpose kya tha? So in life, you have to be inquisitive about things. Learn why of everything. I'm telling you, if you can do that, if you can inculcate this as a ability, as a skill, it will do wonders. Because tomorrow what happens is, today's time, जो हम जिस टाइम में जी रहे हैं ना, ये VUCA word बोलते हैं इसको, which is very volatile, unpredictable, and so it's just like driving in the fog. You cannot see what is going to happen maybe 2 kilometers. You can just see 100 meters, because technology is so disruptive today. So the biggest skill today is required is to learn actually new skills. You're not fixated with what you have learned. And today we face a lot of problem with somebody that are 30 or 40 years, मैं ये सीख नहीं सकता. You must have seen, आपके घर में ही होगा, maybe lot of us, आप लोगों के ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स हैं, वो फोन हो सकता है अभी तक ना सीख पाए हो, और आपके घर का 4 साल का बच्चा वो फोन सीख जाता है मेन्यू को. I need not elaborate further, and there's a why to it. Because at that age probably they don't want to learn, and they say कि नहीं, ये तो नए जमाने की चीजें हैं, ये हमारे बस की नहीं है. वो 4 साल का बच्चा सीख लेता है पूरा मेन्यू अच्छे से. 3 साल के बच्चे आज की डेट में फोन का मेन्यू ड्राइव कर लेते हैं. So the only thing is they are open to learning. That's the only difference between the two. Right? So be open to learning throughout your life. This is very, 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 very important for you to become successful in life. And we at TYE and TYE program aims obviously to give you the sparks of entrepreneurship, but at the same time, we want you to be successful in life. We want you to be the best of the best, so that you can bring laurels to country, you grow up our economy, and all of us prosper. That's the whole idea, the whole vision. Obviously, we are a little selfish that, okay, first our region should grow, but obviously then India will grow, and that's how it will be. So I think that's the couple of pieces of advice which I had for all of you. And thank you very much. And I'm very sure this journey of TYE will be adding a lot of new skills to your life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hirdesh sir. Do we have any final words from the core team? If you have any inputs that you wish to share.
Thank you, Hirdesh sir, for giving your valuable input. It was even good for us also, and even we'll be doing the same in our life. And these were the tips which are important for each and every human being at all ages. Thank you so very much. Students, from post Diwali, we'll be starting with our weekend classes. Schedule, dates, everything will be given in the WhatsApp group, that is the TYE student group. By Wednesday, all the details will be given to you, along with the rules to be followed during the class curriculum. And we are even free to take suggestions from you. If you have any suggestion, any issues, you can feel free to write on the group itself. Thank you. And all the very best.
Thank you so much, everyone. Just as a last message, that if you're interested to join up for the TY program, please use the Google Form link, which I'll post in the chat box. And you can also submit the course fee onto the phone number, which has a Paytm account linked to it. And in any case, you can also call at the same number if you have any questions regarding the program. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope you have a great day. And we look forward to beginning the classes in the coming weeks.
Thank you, everyone. Wishing everybody happy Diwali as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Happy Diwali. Great session, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.